Hey family, my name is Chris. I am your home gamer dad, and season's greetings to you all out there. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Joyous Kwanzaa, whatever it is that you celebrate. I hope you're having a wonderful, happy event. I know there's a ton of holidays between like October and mid-January, but regardless of anything, no matter what time of year it is, I hope you're all doing fantastic and are ready to sit down and enjoy the next session of Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid as I go through Scenario 4, Christmas Chaos. So now a lot of these earlier scenarios were written without solo mode in mind. Mind you, solo mode didn't come until like Scenario 20. So I'm going to be kind of modifying these rules a little bit, and I'll explain that more when we get down to the table. The big thing is going to be that in Christmas Chaos, the centerpiece, the command center, actually does something different than what it's supposed to. And in solo mode, you don't use the command center, but I am going to be using it for this. Straight from the North Pole, we have Kris Kringle himself. You can find him in the 2-pack special holiday edition for Heroes of the Grid. He comes with him, and then a Heximus, I believe, is what the villain's name is for that. So you get to play as Santa Claus in Heroes of the Grid, which is absolutely fantastic. Again, his ability is more for multiplayer type use, but I'm going to adjust it a little bit for solo mode. Of course, this is a Christmas themed one, so we need to be able to keep within the holiday color scheme. So we have our red and we have our green. Santa has opened up a wormhole to other Ranger dimensions in order to pull some of his most powerful allies in order to help him defeat the enemies in front of him. And first will be Cam from Power Rangers Ninja Storm. He is the Green Ranger, red and green. And of course, he has his nice golden armor on him because all Christmas usually has some type of gold in it. And conversely, you have your silver as well, silver and gold. I did just do the Silver Ranger for in space, so I didn't really want to use him again. I was thinking about using the Titanium Ranger, but I'll be honest with you, Merrick from Wild Force as the Lunar Wolf, so much better. I'm so happy that I chose to do him. And even though he doesn't have the word silver in his name, his basic outfit is silver, plus that nice splash of blue that you usually get around the holidays. So this is my team that I will be using in order to defeat whatever evils happen to be in front of us. Villain-wise, I'll talk about that a bit more when we get down to the table, but you're going to be seeing me go up against Putties and Z-Putties in this time. Those are going to be the foot soldiers I go up against. The actual scenario calls for Z-Putties and Tenga Warriors, but I don't want to use Tengas. I really don't care about them much. I don't mind them, but they're not my favorite. So I think in this case, going with the regular Putties and the Z-Putties, keeping it within the MMPR universe is the best way to do it. Finally, before we begin, don't forget this is a 3-part episode, as all of my sessions have been, and I'm just going to kind of keep that going until I decide otherwise. So if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the Home Gamer Dad so you don't miss any future uploads for Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid and be able to catch the whole thing when this is finally released. And I say I usually have some type of morphing sequence for these, but you know, for a holiday episode, we're going to bring you something a little bit more festive. It's the holiday season, and the Power Rangers have set up a temporary base of operation at Santa Claus's workshop in the North Pole. However, the forces of evil have been particularly naughty this year, and they may wish to strike back against jolly old Santa. It's up to the Rangers to save Christmas. It's a good thing your Ranger suits are warm. Welcome to the workshop, fellow Rangers. I have here our 3 fighters for this particular session of Heroes of the Grid, as I mentioned in the intro. Santa Claus, ho ho ho! We have Cam from Ninja Storm, our Green Ranger, and Merrick, our Lunar Wolf Silver Ranger from Wild Force. And again, I talked about all that before. Now, also what I mentioned is how this is going to kind of be a bit of a modification of how the rules were written in the book as comparison to what I'm doing now. Santa's workshop is going to change a little bit, and Santa himself is going to change a little bit. But first, let me just go and let you know what the as-written rules are. All right, Scenario 4, Christmas Chaos, Santa's Workshop. The command center during this scenario is Santa's Workshop, as I pointed out. When a Ranger moves into Santa's workshop, they do not power up, but instead they receive a gift from Santa. That Ranger may choose half of the cards in their discard pile, round it up, and shuffle those cards back into their combat deck. In addition, take 1 energy token from the supply if they do not have one, and gain 1 gift token if you do not have one, placing it on your character card. Okay, so based off of all of that, that was written with a single player in mind. So that means if everybody was like spread around or whatever, you would use an action, one of your actions to move to the center, take half of your cards in your discard pile and put them into your deck, and then you'd be able to take one of these tokens if you don't have one, along with an energy. The problem is all the Rangers move together in solo mode. So that's not really something that I'm going to, though that's something that kind of plays into it as well. So based off of, and I'm just going to kind of go over here and talk about this so they're side by side. What I'm doing is, and you can work with this at home if you want, one of my 3 characters, I mean, it's going to be pretty obvious here, but one of the 3 characters you should definitely label as your Santa character. Obviously, Santa is going to be Santa. And what does that mean? Basically, it means is that the way that the gifts work is that at any time during a Ranger's turn, so this could happen multiple times in a single battle, as a maneuver, because this counts as a maneuver, you would spend one of these tokens, putting it back into the supply, and then you'd be able to find any card you want and play it for free. That includes 0-cost cards. X-cost cards are a little weird because you still have to pay the energy in order to activate them, so I probably wouldn't recommend those. But it doesn't matter where the card is in your deck or your discard pile, you would spend one of these and then you could play a card of your choice at all for 0 cost. And it's probably most likely going to be an attack card. Most reactions wouldn't have this. You can't play a defensive card because it can only happen during the Ranger's turn as a maneuver. And so there you go. I only have 2 here because my Santa character is a gift giver, not a gift. Well, he can use them, but he doesn't take a gift for himself. So out of your 3 Rangers, you'll always have 2 gifts. The way I'm going to work this is that throughout my travels around and fighting, I will use both of these. They'll go back to the supply like so. Once I have no more gifts here in the reserve, I can actually use an action to move all 3 characters back to the command center. As a solo mode, what that means is that 1, I would regain 2 gifts. Your Santa character is going through his pile here and handing them back 2 gifts. Awesome, great, amazing. Second thing that happens is that all the characters will gain an energy back if they don't have one already. And then the third thing will happen is whoever your Santa character is will get that benefit of their cards going back into their deck. So whoever you label as Santa will be the only one throughout the entire session that will get that benefit of half their cards in their discard pile sent back into their deck. I mean, I could have made Cam Santa based off of this, the way I'm logically doing this or whatever. So that's the way I'm going to work the command center for the Christmas Chaos whole shtick and whatnot. There is another thing that I will be doing as well. There is a particular variant to Christmas Chaos called I'm Dreaming of a White Ranger, which was the Christmas special during season 3, if I'm not mistaken. And in that case, the way that it works is that you would have in the book Tango Warriors and Z-Putties, but you would also have Goldar, Rito, and Lord Zed. Goldar and Rito would be shuffled into the deck as monsters, whereas Lord Zed would be your boss. So basically what that says is that if you would ever come across Goldar or Rito within this deck, you would just treat them as regular monsters. They'd be hard as heck, but you only need to defeat 4 of their cards in order to knock them out. So Goldar and Rito are in this deck, but Zed is not. I have a different character that is all the way at the bottom that is going to be my boss card, and then that is actually going to be treated is the way that I would a boss. I would need to defeat 6 cards from that person. But you'll see who that is later on. You could probably guess who that is. I have Santa. So take a guess on who that boss is. But if you don't know, no cheating, don't look. And then otherwise that, you'll be surprised once I get there. Now, let me explain Santa, and then we can get the show on the road. All right, so we have ourselves our sideboard here with all of our fun things set up. We have our action tokens, which is 5. We can gain up to 7 in solo mode. My first ranger, or my lead ranger token, the 2 gifts I talk about, my energy of my supply, my Zord deck, and then my level at 0. So I'm going to start with Santa, as I said. Bag of Gifts, fantastic ability. At the start of each battle, you may give 1 card from your hand to another ranger as a gift. When another ranger plays a card, they may reveal 1 gift, resolve its present effect, and then place it in your discard pile. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to draw cards as normal. I get to have my hand of 7. And then if I draw cards that have that gift token on it, I'm going to put one of these cards here to represent that Santa has given that card to one of these two. I can only have a maximum of 2 on Santa because that would be him giving a card to Cam or him giving a card to Merrick. Now, if I happen to draw more cards from Santa and say I have like maybe 1 gone or whatever, if a card I play from Santa reads, give a card to another player, that pretty much means I get to refresh any one of these that I have done, but I'm only going to keep with a maximum of 2. Santa will only be able to have 2 of these on his card at any time. And remember, at any time, when another ranger plays a card, could be any card at all, I can take one of these away, reveal one of those gift cards from my hand. It goes to my discard pile, but I activate the gift ability. So that's how I'm going to be doing it with Santa throughout the course of this playthrough. And I think it'll work very well, especially if I just limit myself to 2. It kind of is a bit of a limiter to it all, but it should work very well. Why don't we go over our guest rangers here for our Christmas Chaos episode. We have Cam here, Super Samurai mode. At the start of each battle, if Super Samurai Shield is not in your hand, you must search your desk or discard pile for that card and swap it with a card from your hand. If you search your deck, if you do search your deck and shuffle it, basically that means this card. This card has to be in my hand at the beginning of every battle regardless. And if I already have a card in my hand that is Cam's, I would find it and swap it that way, which is probably not a bad thing considering if there's if this is in my discard pile, I can swap it. I can then use a gift to do something pretty powerful. But this will be in my starting hand, and then from there on out, I would need to swap it and put it in there to make sure that it is in my deck as well. What's also fun is I'm going to have some fun with this throughout the game. So here is Cam with his armor on, and then here is Cam with his armor off. So I'm going to be swapping between these 2 figures. You can use either one. It's really just a design swap, a variant of the same figure. So if I don't have the card in my hand, I'll have this on the field. But if I do have the card in my hand, this will be in the field. So I think that'll be a little fun. Just something to do, something interesting to see throughout the course of it. And finally, we have Merrick, our lone wolf, the Lunar Wolf Ranger from Wild Force. During each battle, until another Ranger's card is played, that includes Santa, by the way, because he is a Ranger in this whole thing, reduce the energy cost of all Lunar Wolf cards by 1. So that's going to stay on him here. Once somebody else plays a card, I would remove it, and that would tell me that all of his cards are normal. Now remember, revealing cards does not count as playing them. So if I reveal a gift, this still triggers. So this is still a thing. So I think these 3 are going to play really well off of each other. And with that, I say we go ahead and get things started and get our foot soldiers on the board. So we'll go with it. We have the dockyard that can hold 5. We have the power plant that can hold 6. Ernie's juice bar can hold 5. And Angel Grove Park can hold 6. So here we go. Our first deployment is 2 regular putties at the dockyard. And a 1. And a 2. I guess they're looking to see if any good games have come in on the ships or whatever. Let's go with number 2. We have a single Z putty at the power plant. I don't like seeing singles. Singles are not fun this early in the game because I can get overwhelmed really fast. Next, we got 2 Z putties at Angel Grove Park. I'm not liking that these guys are spread out either. And a 1 and a 2. 2 more pulls. Next, we're going to go with 2 regular putties at the juice bar. Great, they're all over the place. I don't like that. 1, 2, and at least wherever the next group goes, they're just going to be somewhere filling in space at another one of these locations. And the last one, 2 regular putties at the juice bar. I'm not a big fan of this at all, but at least I know that in the beginning of this game, I'm definitely going to be going to the juice bar to knock out these 4. And I may go to the dockyard just because the park and the power plant can hold more figures on them. And at least then the 2 5s are empty. That it helps me kind of figure out, like, spread them out a little bit better or control them a little better. There's words I'm looking for. This is going to be a great run, I can tell. And with that said, why don't we go ahead and flip this right here for our first action to move down to the juice bar. Flying on down this way, teleporting down to fight the putties here. And then we're going to activate the battle. So let's go ahead and flip this and draw our first hand of cards. Of course, the Samurai Shield needs to be in my hand, so that's going to be one of the first ones I have. And I think from here, I'm going to go ahead and start pulling some Santa. So we got one Santa. So here's a little gift icon, as I pointed out before. This one is the next time any ranger performs an attack during this battle, add 2 dice to that attack. So that means I can put 1 here for Santa. And then I'm going to draw another one from Santa. This is Christmas Rush. Give 1 card from your hand to another player as a gift. All right, so I would probably need another card in my hand in order to do that. But instead of doing that, I'm actually just going to start drawing from Merrick because I like his stuff based on the fact that all of his cards are now reduced by 1. So this laser pool is actually a 0. Trick shot is always a 0. Then draw 1 more here. Another trick shot. Man, I don't really have much here to go on. I'm going to draw 1 more from Merrick. All right, Howling Wolf. And then just kind of, as I play Merrick's cards, draw from either Santa or Cam here in order to fill out my hand that way with their stuff. Because remember, I get to draw cards as I play things. That's something I completely forgot during my in space run. So now that we do that, let's go ahead and go down a little bit closer and see where we go and what putties we have to take down. So I think for this, I'm going to just make Cam the lead ranger. It doesn't really matter, but the way I look at it in terms of like the way these 3 are going to work is that Merrick's going to be mostly an offense, Cam's going to be mostly a defense, and Santa's going to be full support just based off of how everything works here. So with that in mind, we have our opening hand, we have our lead ranger. Let's go ahead and draw some Putty Patrol cards. All right, here we go. There's really only 1 card I really hate in the Putty Patrol deck. Leaping attack, deal 3 damage, that's fine. Next, we have swarm attack. I'm all right with that too. Deal 1 damage, increase this damage by 1 for each foot soldier in this location. So right now that's dealing 5 damage. So maybe I should take that down first, or attempt to at least. Cannon fodder, guard. So I have to defeat this before I get that. And that does deal 2 damage, which isn't really much of anything. Oh, there it is. Flanking. Oh, I hate this card. While this card is in play, each time another enemy card deals damage, increase that damage by 1. That works for all enemies here and all monsters up here too. Flanking is probably one of the worst things ever in the original Putty Patrol deck. So I'm going to start with Trick Shot, which is a 2 dice attack. If I roll any misses during the attack, I can deal 1 damage to another enemy card that is not adjacent to the target. And then I'm also going to use the gift on Santa's thing right here in order to be able to show Better Watch Out, which is next time any ranger performs an attack during this battle, add 2 dice to that attack. So I'm going to roll 4 dice. I'm going to go after the cannon fodder right here. And then I'm going to see if I can defeat that 4 dice for 3 damage. And then any circles I hit, I'll be able to attack something else. So, well, actually, any non-adjacent. So it would be the leaping attack. I may be able to beat the leaping attack because I have another trick shot. So if I fight flanking and defeat that, then I can defeat leaping attack too. That's at least the idea. Trying to get all types of crazy festive dice for this and everything. So we got 4 dice. And we have 3 damage that we have to do. So Howling Wolf attack here. Whoa, here we are. All right, so that's good. We got 4 damage, which is great, but not great at the same time because I wanted at least 1 miss. At least this goes over. So that's defeated. You'll go to the discard pile. You'll go to the discard pile, and I will draw from Cam, who gives me Clever Tactics. Gain 1 energy. Any ranger may choose 1 card from their discard pile, add it to their hand. Place this card on top of your deck instead of discarding it. Oh, that's fun. We do get to remove one of these guys, so I can go up there. And I can put a damage token here just to try to fill this up. Getting Zords is going to be very important during this round, during all rounds, actually, because the Zords in here are going to be very helpful based on the ones that I've chosen and ones that have come with these guys. Now then, leaping attack goes, and I'm going to have Cam take the hit. So he draws 1, 2. I could use the Samurai Shield on this. No, I'm not going to do that. I'll just do 1, 2. Let's see, that goes to the bottom anyway, so that works. I'll take it. No, it doesn't. I'm sorry. Because of the flanking, this actually would deal me 4 damage, so this goes to my discard pile. Man, I should have played the other thing. So I caught that. I caught it. I'm going to try to catch it for the rest of it. All right, so the only card I have in my hand, again, is Trick Shot. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do a 2 dice attack. And I'm going to try to attack Swarm Attack here because this is the one that's going to be doing the most damage because it's 2 damage plus all these guys. So this is actually doing 5 damage on its next turn, and I'd like to get rid of that now. All right, Howling Wolf, go! What do we got? We got a miss and we got a hit. That's not that good. All right, so I get to put this here, but then because of the way trick shot work, I can put a damage on another thing. So I'm going to put it on flanking over here. Not that I'm going to have anything that will hit that yet, but maybe I'll find something. So we'll put this in my discard pile. And again, I'm going to draw from Cam, because Cam has a lot of good attacks. God, I'm getting all of these things, his maneuvers. Oh, man. All right, well, Swarm Attack's going to go. And from that, I'm going to immediately play Samurai Shield. So now this is going to come off here, so he no longer gets his reduction. Not that I played anything with the high energy cost, but whatever. So at least this will only do 3 damage to somebody, and I think I'm going to have Santa and his jolly old self come in and try to stop it. All right, here we go. 3, and that's 3 right there. That's fine. Good. We'll put this down here. And if I can remember correctly, it's whenever I play a card, I can draw a card. So I'm going to draw from Merrick. And I get Claws of the Wolf. Oh, that's so good. I love this card. And it is our turn again anyway, so that's even better. So then I can go ahead. All right, so it's going to be a bit of energy here, but I think I can do this. We're going to do Laser Pool, Maneuver. Until the end of this battle, each time an enemy card is defeated, deal 1 damage to another enemy card that is not adjacent to the defeated card. So that's going to cost 1 energy to do. And so now what I'm going to do is that activates here. I have 2 turns left and a passive thing. So I really just have 2 ways to do this. And I'm going to play Claws of the Wolf. And unfortunately, because I spent that thing needing Cam's assistance, this would have been 0. This would have been 1 energy, but that's all right. I'll spend the 2. So I'll do this one, and I'm going to take Merrick's here. That's fine. And so what this does is I get a 3 dice attack. During the next ranger's turn, which would be on this side of flanking, instead of playing a card, I can perform a 3 dice attack. So I get 2 3 dice attacks in a row. If I destroy this one, I definitely kill this, and then I'm going to try to destroy that one. So hopefully I can wipe this out in the 2 turns. Telling you, this is why Merrick is my damage dealer for this particular run. There we go. Perfect. So that's 2 damage, exactly what I needed for the leaping attack. So then you are destroyed, and then I get to do, because of the laser pool, I get to do 1 damage to 1 non-adjacent card. So I'm going to hit flanking, poof, which would then destroy this as well. I'm going to put everything on the board in a minute. We're just going to say this goes. I get my next turn. Let's go ahead and roll that 3 dice just to make sure that I can beat Swarm Attack and clear out the juice bar. I just need 2 damage in order to beat it. And I got it. There it is. There's 1, 2 with a miss. Now I'm rolling the misses that I could have used to hit other things. All right, so with that said, this comes off. This goes. Both of these go to my discard. I think I'm going to draw from Santa just so I can have it. Oh, good. So we got Naughty List. Deal 1 damage to up to each of 2 enemy cards. That's really cool. So I'll hold on to that for the next battle. 1, 2, 3 are gone, so I can put them back in the supply. And then right over here we go 1, 2, 3, which is great because we are 2 away from our first Zord, which we're definitely going to get because no matter what location we go to, there are 2 enemies there. I think we're going to just go ahead and do this and move to the dockyard so I can clear out that 5 zone of the annoying putties that are there. Those are regular putties? Yeah, they're regular putties. So let me clean this up and I'll meet you over there. Here we go. Everyone, let's go. All right, into the dockyard with only 2 regular putties. First, I'm going to go ahead and flip this to initiate the battle so we can put 2 of these here. And I'm going to put this back onto Merrick just to show that I can reduce his cards until I play someone else. And I know I have 1 Santa gift in my hand, so we'll put 1 there, and that should be fine. Then, based on what's in my hand, I need to bring the Samurai Shield to my hand, so that goes here, and I have to replace one of my other Cam cards. So, just going to put this Clever Tactics into the discard pile, and his shield is back on, so there we go. I forgot to switch it before, but whatever. So it's still going to be interesting. I'll probably forget most of the time, but that really means nothing in terms of the game. Just a fun thing to look at. All right, as far as cards go, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to draw 1 from Merrick, which is Lunar Q. After you resolve this attack, you may ready 1 Exhausted Zord, which stinks because we don't have any Zords. I am, however, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to draw from Cam. Samurai Saber. I hate that these are so expensive. After you resolve this attack, if Samurai Shield is in your hand, gain 1 energy. Otherwise, you may perform a second attack with 2 dice. Now, remember, that second attack can go to any target. It doesn't have to go to the original target, but does obey the guard rules. So let's see what 2 putties come down here. Still not a fan that I didn't see any 3-pack, but maybe they'll come sooner. Maybe they'll spawn with the monsters, and I can just kind of get rid of them that way. So first one is Cannon Fodder Guard. There you go. Second one is Swarm Attack. So this does 1, 2, 3 damage. So this will do 3 damage. This does 2 damage. There is no fast in the Putty Patrol, so I will always get the first turn. All right, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play Howling Wolf. It's going to be a 0-cost card because Merrick's ability is still active. I get to gain 1 energy, so we can put that into the pool, which is something he may absorb later. And then I can draw 1 card, so I'm going to go ahead and draw a card from Merrick right now. Full Moon Slash, that's a nice one to have. Next time any ranger performs an attack during this battle, they may reroll any number of dice. So that's going to be it. It's a simple reaction because that's the start of the ranger battle that happened. And it doesn't say I can play any more cards, so that's really it. I'm also not going to draw any more cards right now because I have a few attacks in my hand and I only have 2 guys to fight. So Cannon Fodder goes for 2 damage. I'm going to have Santa go ahead and take that, 2 damage. So 1 goes in the discard and 2 goes on the bottom. Yeah, the gifts are not like star abilities because they're not when revealed for defense. It's only a very specific time in which they activate. But now we get to go, which is fine. So I have to hit this guard regardless of anything. And I think I'm going to go ahead and use the Full Moon Slash. I get to gain 1 energy for each miss resulted in this, but I get a 3 dice attack, which is fine by me. And because I played Howling Wolf, I get to re-roll any of these dice if I manage to screw up badly. Oh god, which I did, so I'm going to re-roll these 2. Alright, that didn't really work out. Alright, so we got 1, 2. That's fine. I have an idea of what I want to do anyway. So I'm going to put this into my discard pile. Again, I'm not going to draw anything because I have plenty that I can do for this. But however, we do have a Swarm Attack going. And I get to deal 3 damage to a ranger of my choice. I'm going to again have Santa go. He's going to reveal Bell Ringer, but then I'm also going to immediately play Samurai Shield to increase this by 2. So Bell Ringer would go on the bottom of the deck, and this would go to the discard pile. So basically, because I use Cam's ability, then all of Merrick's cards are back to normal. So I'm actually going to play Samurai Saber first, but I'm also going to use Santa's ability. So we'll take this away here in order to reveal Naughty List. Deal 1 damage to up to each of 2 enemies. So I'm going to deal damage to this Cannon Fodder right here, which would kill it. And I'm going to put a damage on Swarm Attack. So that goes here. I'll put this here, and then we get to get rid of one of these guys. Sadly, I do need to spend all 3 energy that is in the center, but at the very least I have 4 dice in order to be able to attack this. 4 dice, 2 damage should be done. And then if I happen to not kill it because I do not have a Samurai Shield in my hand, I can then do a second attack that's 2 dice. So I had to get rid of that guard first in order to be able to attack Swarm Attack. So there we go. I should kill this. Festive 4 dice. I just need 2 damage. I did 3. That's fine. That is all I needed in order to clear out Swarm Attack and clear this area. All right, so I'll put this back. I'll put this in the discard. I'm going to go ahead and just draw from Merrick. Got another Full Moon Slash. That's cool. So you're gone. These are done. And with this here, that means I have now unlocked our first Zord. Hopefully it's something good. Remember, we do have stuff in the MMPR era. So our first thing is Kushka. Oh, okay. So this is fun. So we have the Wolf Wild Zord. Exhaust this card before any ranger performs an attack. That ranger may draw up to 2 cards and ignore the guard keyword. So there's something to help. Then I would swap this with either the alligator or the hammerhead. The fun thing about Merrick is that he actually has all 3 of his Predazords in this game. When you use one, you swap it for one of the other 2. And these are what the other 2 do. I should put them on the screen right now so you can read them as I discuss. But depending on the situation, I will have to figure out what it is that I want to swap when I use the Wolf Sword. So that's going to be fun. That's going to be something good. And then we can actually make full use of his Lunar Q, which readies an exhausted Zord. We have 1 action left, but what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do a recharge ability for Cam and Merrick in order to get some more cards back into their deck. I will strategically leave some stuff in their, discard pile so I can use these presents because I have a feeling I'm going to need them for the next round. So let's flip this, and then that would be 6 shields worth of cards back into their deck, and then they both would get an energy back. So I choose Claws of the Wolf is definitely one of my favorite cards, so there's my 6 shields going back for Merrick. Cam, I wanted to make sure that Samurai Slash stayed in his discard pile, so we got 6 right here going back, and I'll pull that Samurai Shield once we get to a new battle. So now with that all said and done, let's get back to the big board and get done with this round and move on to the next one. All right, here we go. Deployment phase round 2. I started up. I recharged all of our actions. So we got 5 to use here. Hopefully we can gain another one because you know that a monster is going to come out of here. So let's see what we got first. We have 3 Putty Patrollers at the power plant. See, I was wondering when they were going to come out. Take out what you can in order to keep the herds thin. This is still pretty good. Still pretty good. Next, we have 2 Z Putties at the power plant. That's going to panic that. So now we definitely have a panic location that requires 2 fights in order to beat, and I put the panic tokens to the side this time so I can actually do this in real time. Number 3 is all 1 Putty Patroller and Rito Revolto. Oh boy.
I'm going to introduce myself. I am Rito Revolto.
I know who you are, and you've been a very naughty boy this year.
Yeah, I'm heartbroken. Now zip it.
So for those of you that may not know, Rito is actually Rita's brother, as weird as that sounds and everything. Sorry for the way his sword is. I have terrible storage solutions, so of course it's going to bend where it is, but Rito is a fun one. Again, he is technically considered a boss in this game. However, he's going to be considered a monster for the purpose of this, meaning that all I have to do is defeat 4 of his cards, and he is taken down, and we gain all the benefits. So Z-Putty would go to the park, Rito would go to the park, and we would have a panic token here, which is fine. I'm okay with that. It's actually kind of appropriate. He's with the Z-Putties because he came off when Zed and Rito were like getting married and everything, so he was with them a lot. All right, so we can remove this now. We don't have to worry about seeing that again. Hopefully we can take him down quickly. All right, 2 Putty Patrollers in the dockyard. I know that's where we are right now, but I'm probably just going to move to the park itself and take down Rito first and then bounce over here. Well, let's just see what our last pull is. Here we go. 2 in the power plant. I wish I saw another 3 somewhere, but these 2 actually would not go to the power plant. Being that this is full and panic, they're going to bounce over to Ernie's juice bar. See, this is what I mean about trying to keep some of these clear in order to be able to have spaces for the enemies to go. So yes, so let's see what we have. Let's establish what our main threats are, and we'll go from there. Under normal circumstances, if I was playing this game with more than 1 person, 2-player, 4-player, whatever it is, it would definitely be a split. Some people would go over here to handle Rito, while others would go here and start thinning this out. Because if you thin it out, you can work your way towards a Zord, and then you get that in your team in order to be able to do something else. However, because this is solo mode, and by defeating a boss, monster, whatever it is, not only do you gain a Zord, you gain an additional action. So I think the best thing for me to do right now is to use a move action. So we'll do this as a move action. Oops, get that back a little bit more. There we go. And we'll move everybody down here to Angel Grove Park, because if I can defeat Rito and get him out of here, I can gain back that action and then clear that out completely, bounce over to the power plant, thin this a little bit. I don't think I can clear it this turn, but it would be better, and that could possibly 1-2 more Zords in this round. So I'm going to go ahead and just activate the battle right now. Again, I'm going to have Cam as the leader. We have our 2 here, and now I'm going to draw some cards. I have 1, 2, 3. I'm going to draw 1 from Merrick. So I have Claws of the Wolf. Beautiful. And now I'm going to draw 1 from Santa, which is a gift. Excellent. Gain 2 energy. Milk and cookies. We'll put that up here. And then I actually need to draw 1 from... I'm going to draw 1 from Cam, which is the Samurai Shield. All right, so it's in my hand. Hurrah. Okay, so that's where we're starting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, let's jump on down and see what they got.